everybody, it's Tamara. I'm in beautiful New Zealand. Can you believe I'm here? We just left our home in Melbourne, Australia, and I promised that I was going to send a video every once in a while. We don't know how often, but I'm going to try to do it as often as I can. But I wanted to send a message of messages of hope and peace and just inspiration. And I wanted to share a really cool experience we had when we arrived in New Zealand. Now listen, you have to remember, we were super tired. We've been moving for a week. Yes, we had movers help us, but packing and trying to get across the world is very difficult. And we hadn't slept in 5 days. We arrived in New Zealand. We arrived in Wellington, I believe, and we rented a car to drive about 5 or 6 hours up to a place called Okura in Taranaka. Help me, husband.
Taranaki.
Taranaki. I said teppanyaki. It's not right. It's Taranaki. Taranaka.
Taranaki.
Taranaki. I need help. All right. Anyway, we're in this beautiful place. We have a beautiful mountain over here. There's just lots of history. We love it. But when we arrived, we got here really late at night. We were driving around. We had GPS'd our Airbnb. Could not find it. It's about midnight at this time. And we could not find it. In fact, the GPS took us to a little farm. And it wasn't even a farmhouse, it was just a farm with a lot of equipment. And we're thinking, this can't be right. So we did some thinking, we decided to old school it, try to find it again, drove around a little while, still couldn't find it. So then we GPS'd it again, made it right back to the same farm. And it was just getting later and later. We were exhausted, tired, hadn't slept. We feel like we were in the middle of nowhere. It's super dark. We have a special needs child who is crying. We're starving. We're wasting away. Maybe it's not that dramatic, but it felt like that. And all of a sudden I thought, you know, I know what to do because I've been taught. And I said, let's say a prayer. So we all bowed our heads. We said a prayer. And we asked our Heavenly Father to just help us, just bring a sign, something. Help the lady to answer her phone because she was in the Cook Islands. We didn't know at the time, but she was out of town in the Cook Islands and wasn't hearing her phone. Send help, send somebody, send something. And within 20 seconds of the prayer ending, here comes some lights driving up to us. And it was a man who owned the farm. He drove up right next to Rob, and he rolled down our window and he says, "Can I help you? What are you doing here?" He thought we were stealing farm equipment and stealing things. We weren't. And when he heard the story, finally he realized that we were just lost, and he opened up his arms and said, "Come with me, I'm gonna help you." He took us back to his house. And within seconds of Rob walking into the house and coming back out, we had the right address. In fact, they knew exactly who these people were. They're like, "It's Charlie's house." We got in his ute. I struggle with Australian words. Anyway, he got in his awesome truck thing that we love, and he drove us right to our place, and we drove right in to this beautiful home right down the street to this gorgeous bungalow. If you can see the view, it's amazing. And we made it here safely. The best part about this story is that, you know, Heavenly Father, God, He answers prayers. And He answered our prayer through a dairy farmer who, by the way, had to be up in 4 hours to milk his cows. Yet He took the time, and his wife hugged us, and He took the time to drive us all the way to our destination to make sure that we made it safely. I'm telling you that I know that Heavenly Father hears us, and He answers our prayers. He answers those little prayers. He answers those big prayers. This was a little prayer. This was a little prayer. He still answered. Sometimes He answers them immediately. Sometimes He answers them in 30 seconds, like He did when the dairy farmer came down the road to us. Sometimes they take a lot longer. But the truth is that He answers them. I wanted to share this really awesome quote that I love from Thomas S. Monson. He said, "There will be times when you will walk a path strewn with thorns and marked by struggle. There may be times when you feel detached, even isolated, from the giver of every good gift. You worry that you walk alone, and fear replaces faith. When you find yourself in such circumstances, I plead with you to remember prayer." What an amazing source of power, of strength, of comfort is available to each of us. He who, now listen to this because I love this. He who knows us better than we know ourselves. He who sees the larger picture and knows the end from the beginning. He has assured us that He will be there for us to provide help if we ask. We have the promise found in the Doctrine and Covenants, section 90, verse 24. Pray always and be believing. and all things shall work together for your good. I know through experience that he will answer your prayers. Even sometimes it's through a friend, sometimes it's through a neighbor, sometimes it's through a family member, sometimes he sends an angel, and sometimes he sends a dairy farmer from New Zealand. So this is the message that I wanted to leave with you today. I hope it inspires you. If anything, don't forget to pray. Shama Lama.